Hey, real quick, before we get into that episode, do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss out on any marketing nuggets. Enjoy the show.
Take all of this great output, right, and craft it. And the way that we talk about that is as the AI sandwich, right? What that is human prompts, machine outputs, and human finesses on the back end, right? And that's the sandwich.
Hi, I'm Josh Owen. As the owner of a video marketing company in New Orleans, I've been on the quest to learn everything I can about marketing. Everyone has a different style, different strategy, and a different experience. Is there a wrong way to do it? A right way to do it? Let's find out together as we make marketing make sense. All right, welcome back everybody to another wonderful episode of Make Marketing Make Sense. I'm joined by Will Scott, co-founder of Search Influence. Very excited to have you in today. Here to talk about utilizing AI for SEO marketing. I feel like, Search Influence, it's in the name.
It is.
So,
We got, it was one of those things. We were looking for a domain name at a time when all the good ones were gone. And somebody we were working with at the time said S is a very auspicious letter. And so we went through all of the options for S names, and that's how we wound up with Search Influence. And it's worked for us for more than 18 years.
Wow,
so
that's incredible.
I think we're sticking with it.
Yeah, so no slithering snakes influence out here.
No. But look, if I'd known how big Harry Potter was going to be, I might have capitalized on
Ooh, the Slytherin influence.
Slytherin influence.
Nice. Yeah, but that wouldn't. I feel like Slytherin are the villains, though. I don't know if you get away with that.
It's all about perspective, isn't it?
I guess that's true. I guess that's what you'd be selling at Slytherin influence. Well, AI. Which did not write this script. This is all we're human based today.
Yeah.
As far as you know.
Nor are we deep fakes.
Yeah, that's right. There's no deep fake here.
Yeah.
Just deep knowledge on AI.
And here's the thing. Are you sure about that? Just saying.
Anyway, what makes good SEO? First off, before we even get into the AI.
Results. Right? Results are what make good SEO.
Yeah.
I have a talk track around, what is SEO 101, right? SEO 101 is keywords, what are people searching for, content, how well are you saying it or, showing it, and then links, which is how many people are referring to you as an expert or an authority in that area. And other folks talk about it as relevance and authority, right? Same idea. But at the end of the day, what we really care about is, are we able to see demonstrable results? And this is why at Search Influence, we focus on SEO and online ads, because that's where we can demonstrably show an ROI to our clients with, great regularity. And I think that we like to think that, we're not a creative agency, because we're a results agency.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, when you said that, I was like, mic drop right there. Because it's like so many people try and like sugarcoat it. I feel like what you're saying with all those extra words, but at the end of the day, what is it all built around? It's built around results.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what a content marketer is?
Yeah.
An SEO who's scared.
Oh, wow.
That's correct.
Wow, man, laying down the law. All right, you heard that? All their content marketers come back. Well, Scott's coming for you.
I've only been practicing these lines for 18 years, so it's
it's still a little fresh. All right, well, good. Well, I want to hear your stand-up routine after this, so it'll be great. So then, if we're talking results. How is it that AI, everyone talks about AI these days, AI this, AI that, ChatGPT, deepfakes, all these things.
Yep.
How is AI giving better results?
Really, it's how is AI not giving better results? I've said this quite a lot in the last, several months, that there's a point down the road where everybody's using AI tools. Everybody understands what their value is, especially in marketing. They're pervasive, right? But that period in time is maybe 5 to 10 years out in the future. And so now, if you know what you're doing with AI tools, you can be well out in front. So the most common use case that I think people are familiar with is you go to ChatGPT and you say, write me an article on XYZ, right? Cool. But do we think that Google understands what ChatGPT sounds like? Probably so. And so the next level up from that is, you feed in precursor information, right? So you give it examples of what your voice and tone sound like.
Right.
You can dump in half a dozen articles that you've personally written, and it will start to learn what you sound like. Okay, so now you've got ChatGPT writing and sounding like you.
Yeah.
Well, then what if you go the next step and you start looking to see what are the most commonly used search terms around the topic that you want to write about? And you say, hey, ChatGPT, and you don't really say this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it to yourself.
Right,
Why not?
yeah. And you say,
I
hey,
talk to myself in the shower all the time. It's
say,
good,
hey,
yeah.
ChatGPT, this is what I sound like, right? And I've given you examples of what I sound like.
Yeah.
And hey, ChatGPT, this is what people are talking about when they're talking about this stuff. Right? So now what I need is a really robust outline to work from. And it'll give you a really robust outline. And so, excuse me, there's a couple of ways to go. One is you can take that outline and you can fill it in from your own knowledge and perspective. Or you can go heading by heading and say, hey, write about this, write about that, write about this, write about that. And then you edit it. And so what I like to focus on when we're talking about real content and not, I mean, I do a lot of testing. One of my roles is kind of R&D in SEO. So I play with all the stuff before we actually deploy it for clients. And in some cases, I play with all the stuff that we would never deploy for clients. It can be fun. But so you can take all of this great output, right, and craft it. And the way that we talk about that is as the AI sandwich, right? What that is human prompts, right, machine outputs, and human finesses on the back end, right? And that's the sandwich.
Yeah.
But maybe there's other ways to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's not just text, right? It can be video, it can be images, it can be.
Right.
I have a tool that I use all the time that I just freaking love, and it's called Wave.video.
Yeah. You mentioned this to me before.
Yeah.
Like, what is the deal with this?
So, look, I really hope you have nobody who pays attention to this, because, and especially not marketers who I compete with, which thankfully they aren't really many in this town.
Yeah.
But the Wave.video, you can give it the URL for a piece of content, and it will ingest that content and use AI to build a video script. And then it will use that video script to go into its stock library and pull video and image clips and assemble you a complete video. Now, if you wanted, you could just publish that straight online, right? And you could take the content that it created and use it as part of your sort of ancillary content.
Right.
Or you could have one of their AI voices read it for you. I'm personally a big fan of a voice named Davis, because Davis sounds
What's
like
Davis like?
Davis sounds like New Orleans. Davis is very like
Davis is New Orleans.
Davis
I hope it's not Jefferson Davis.
No, I think so. Davis is more like downtown Davis. Right?
Oh, downtown Davis.
Yeah,
Okay. He's a little more on the chill side,
He I don't know about you, but he's more my New Orleans, right?
That's okay. Yeah. I respect that New Orleans.
So Davis, he's got a pretty soulful vibe, and he's the least AI sounding of the voices in Wave.video.
Gotcha. Nice.
So if you go,
wow, leave it to New Orleans to sound, not non-AI.
well, it's just if you've already got.
Yeah.
I think if you got a voice style that already has tone and inflection, it's less likely to sound tinny and robotic, which I find a lot of the AI voices do.
Yeah, and so all of that to say, ChatGPT is pumping out stuff for SEO, and when we going back to it now, how is that like you said, how is it not improving results? Which my question is like, what are some of the tangible things that you're noticing? Like because like you're saying, like you got to fine tune this ChatGPT machine. Is that a whole? How much does that add to the to the cookie there? Because you're kind of like, I know a lot of people are still struggling with that.
So that's if you're going to create a piece of unique content, right? And you're starting from a blank page, and you're saying, I want to create, I want to write a blog post that I'm going to turn into a video about podcasting for business, right?
Wow. How'd you know I was going to write that?
I don't know. I could see it happening. I don't know. I may see if I could rank for it and then sell it back to you.
Oh, wow. All right. Oh, we're getting hot in here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, keep going. Go. By all means. I got, let me see what I got in my pocket.
As it turns out, that may be one of my weekend projects. Just
okay. All right. Well, all right. I'll be checking on Monday for my inbox.
So a lot of times when you see content online, it's not that unique, written from front to back, like you thought it up and it sprung fully formed from your head. A lot of times it's derivative, right? So one of the things I've been really enjoying is using the AI tools to summarize existing content and then building roundup and sort of skyscraper content. This is an idea that was put out a while ago. The idea being you look at the sites that are currently ranking for the things that you would like to, and then you try to go one more, right? You try to put one more floor on the skyscraper.
Oh, I see.
And then you reach out to all of the people who might be linking to them, and you say, hey, you like that content? You'll like this one because it goes to 11, right? And so
that's what you're using ChatGPT for.
I'm not suggesting that I don't use ChatGPT. I am more like
that you're using AI.
I'm more likely to be using the OpenAI API through other tools.
Gotcha.
It's the same thing,
right.
same output, but you get a little bit more control.
Gotcha.
And so for instance, the search term SEO skyscraper, right, has been out there forever. Lots of really authoritative sites have tried to rank for it. And so I thought to myself, what if I looked at the top 10 sites that are ranking for that phrase, and I used AI tools to write synopses of them, and then I wrapped around it with a little bit of analysis. What are the things that all of them are talking about? What are the things that only a handful of them are talking about? And then what are my personal impressions, right? So this is the experience that the search engines are looking for wrapped around the content.
Interesting. Okay.
And so with some good prompting and maybe 5 to 10% human content, you can take a ranking.
And so taking that ranking, how much, like, I guess quantifying all that, like how much faster is doing what you just told me, that whole process, versus like actually having to like go out and like do it, just to give people a frame of reference of like how much time you're saving by you doing this method?
Oh, it's somewhere between 10 and 100x.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did one. I'm playing with a new tool. It's called make.com. And it allows you to build custom workflows that reach into a whole bunch of different applications. So like you can set up an Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of URLs. You can get those URLs. You can send them to OpenAI. You can have OpenAI process them and come up with the synopses like I used for my SEO skyscraper. And you can then iterate and iterate and iterate until you actually have a fully formed, in this case, it was around 13,000 word blog post.
Wow.
That's targeting a search term that I would like to have ownership of. And because you've built the workflow within make.com, if you want another one to publish somewhere else, you just hit the button again.
Oh, wow.
So
that seems pretty simple.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I know how to hit buttons.
And once I push a lot of buttons.
You push a lot of buttons. Oh, yeah.
But
we've already experienced that some. Yeah.
But the idea is that so does it take a little bit of knowledge to set it up on the front end?
Yeah.
Do you have to think about what it is that you want the outcome to be? Yes. But once you've done that and you use a tool like Make or Zapier and all of their integrations to all of these other tools, Airtable, OpenAI, Dolly to make images, right?
Yeah.
You name it, they've got an integration. WordPress, you can publish a thing directly to your website, right? And then after you publish it to WordPress for your website, you've also in the process had it write a tweet and write a LinkedIn post, and you push those through Make, not by anybody copying and pasting anything, to Buffer to post out 20 minutes after you publish the article, right?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's time, and time is money. So that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a long time, right? I mean, I first put a website online maybe like 30 years ago. So how old are all of y'all? Is anybody in here older than my first website?
All right, breakdown. All right, cut. And Toomey, how old are you?
35.
Doris?
23.
Yeah.
28.
Okay, so
and I'm 32.
Okay. So we're 50% in this room that has been alive longer than the first website I put online.
Yeah,
right.
Look, yeah,
So
50%. We're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. All right. Yeah.
So think about that when you look at other agencies that you see, right?
Yeah.
I see this all the time. People are like, "Oh yeah, I've been doing SEO for a long time. I got into it in 2017," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
how nice."
Yeah. Wow.
So we should cut that piece out. That's a little too much. But
hey, you know what? Well, hey, maybe it's just the content we needed. You know.
right, and maybe it's the thing that you trade to me for,
yeah.
for the rankings.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
We gotta have leverage. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. This is where to me the promise of AI becomes reality.
Yeah.
Is when you figure out a process that took you a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So just one, for example, which you could use ChatGPT for this. So this is not, you don't have to go get other tools.
Yeah.
Pay OpenAI your $20
Yeah.
so you can use the newest version. And you've created the summaries of all of those pieces of content that you want to analyze, right?
Yeah.
And then you take those summaries and you plug them back into ChatGPT and you say, give me the 10 most common points in here, right? And then give me 10 items that were surprising. Right? And so now I don't just have the summaries, I now have analysis of the summaries. And then I, the human, can come back through and spend 20 minutes putting my humanness on it, right? And the machine has, in that process, spit out a couple thousand words.
Wow. Yeah. And then at that point, these are blog posts. These are whatever you need them to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
And because they're blog posts, and because we've got tools like Wave.video, and there's another one, Steve.ai, which is
Steve.ai.
Steve.ai.
Man,
no,
don't let Davis hear you're hanging out with Steve. All right?
I know, he might get jealous. But I think that this is where when you take these tools and you put them together, and especially if they've got APIs or they've already got connections to tools like Make.com, you can take a really big process idea and execute it in minutes.
So, because what does Steve doing?
Oh, same thing as Wave.video. You give it a URL.
So it
does cool stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
wow.
Steve.ai, they haven't launched it yet.
Yeah.
Because when they do, I'm signing back up. They have a text to generative AI video. So I can say like fluffy rabbit bounding through the woods.
Right.
And Steve.ai is going to give me its idea of fluffy rabbit bounding through the woods.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Or like, what's that guy's name? What am I blanking on his name? The guy that Will Smith eating noodles.
Oh.
You can get that.
Right. So and it's not on Cameo. He's not like slurping noodles while he's saying happy birthday to somebody.
Exactly.
So that's where to me it becomes really interesting, right? Is that then you're taking these processes that would have required a really long time, would have required a lot of research, and because all of that data already exists in the tools, you just go, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and assemble it.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Wow.
So
yeah, I mean that sounds like incredible. I mean it's going to be. I feel like we're going to have the same conversation in 6 months about how much faster it's even improved since then, because it seems like it's just all happening so fast.
Yeah, I think the workflow tools are the piece that are to me going to be the biggest game changer.
Right.
Because if I never have to look at another email again, and it can be reading my email for me and interpreting intent and making decisions about what needs to get replied to, going into my library of email replies and saying this feels like a good reply, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
because I noticed that Google's already trying. Like they have like the whole AI response now that you can do. Yeah. And so we're getting there.
Yeah. And I have you tried it yet?
Yeah. It's the same with a lot of, because this is actually a good question for you too, is with a lot of my notice, like with me and AI, I feel like you can, I've noticed with AI, if you give it just a cookie crumb, it kind of, because it has so many options, it ends up choosing something and you're like, oh, what is that? Right. But if you give it the full cookie. So I, go in there, I give it a really in-depth explanation. Then I'm like, but then I'm thinking, I just basically wrote the email by giving it this description.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's not at the point where I can give it a little cookie crumb and it can figure out what to do from it. But it's, I think hopefully down the road it could, because like I basically like give it tons of information, then it gives me the correct response.
Well, and this is where pre-training comes in.
Exactly.
So if you've already trained the AI on how you
because I don't think it does that yet. The pre-training.
Well, there's. Are you familiar with the idea of custom GPTs?
What? Yeah. What is that exactly?
So ChatGPT allows you to create a custom GPT, and so you pre-train your own GPT. And so a friend of mine who runs an agency up in Minnesota, he's a very distinctive person.
Yeah.
His name is Marty Weintraub, and the agency's called Aim Clear.
Wow.
And he's one of my favorite people in the industry. And so what they've done is they've iterated and created the Marty custom GPT.
Wow.
And so
he's got his own GPT.
So his team, if Marty's unavailable, they can go to the Marty GPT and ask it.
Oh my God, this is scary.
Right.
This is scary. Wow, that is pretty wild. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you thought deep fakes were scary. The machine that knows how you think. That's probably a little scarier.
Are they going to replace us? Is that what's happening?
This is why I just want to look, all y'all. Please be polite when you're prompting.
Oh, 100%. You don't want that coming back on you.
No. You want the machines to know that you're one of the compliant ones.
Exactly.
And then it's not your skull that's getting crushed on the tank tracks, right? I mean, that's just, nobody wants that.
The no-brainer at that point.
Yeah. So how much is it's kind of like using your turn signals when you're out in the real world. How hard is it to say, please, thank you. Yeah.
Polite little honk.
That was great.
Yeah.
Right? I give a lot of positive reinforcement to ChatGPT because I wanted
just
to know.
in case.
Yeah.
Man, what a prompt, ChatGPT.
Yeah. When the machines take over, I want them to know I'm a good one.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. I love it, man. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up. Maybe at this point, just kind of giving people quick shout out. Where they can find you, search influence, how to get in touch if they need advice on SEO or AI.
We're easy to find. Search influence is the only search influence around. We've been at it so long that if you Google that, we're the ones you're going to find. If you want me, Will Scott SEO, because there are other Will Scotts, one of whom played Stifler in American Pie, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there you go.
So it's really hard for me to maintain.
But I feel like you're slowly ranking up the ranks, right? You're going to take them eventually.
I've only got 3 or 4 positions on page 1 in Google, and I'm not at the top because there's some country musician.
There's also a country musician?
Yep, and there's some basketball player, but thankfully I think his career's over, so
you're bumping back
came
up.
back over.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fix that too.
Yeah.
I got ways there.
Yeah, nice.
Will Scott SEO, you'll find ways to get in touch with me. I'm in social, I'm most authentically active on Twitter.
Oh.
I apologize for anybody. Look, hey, driving here today, I saw my first Cybertruck in the wild.
Oh, really?
And you know how they say
they exist?
They do, and how they're really they're very sort of divisive, right? You either love them or you hate them.
Oh, people love.
There are people who love them apparently.
I guess I only see the negative press online.
Well, no, so that guy. I mean, he hit it when he made the corner. I was like, damn.
Wow.
But it was still ugly as. So that said, Will Scott SEO, search influence. We are not. You don't want to come to us to build you a website. You want to come to us because you want leads flooding through your door, right? You want the internet to make you money. You don't want the internet to have people say, "Ooh, you've got such a nice website," right? That's what we do is we make our clients money. And so if you're that kind of person and you have a budget, then please talk to us.
You heard it here first. If you want money, talk to Will Scott. That's been another great episode of Make Marketing Make Sense. We'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This episode of Make Marketing Make Sense is brought to you by Comfystone. If your business needs organic social media video content, video ads, or video podcasting, hit up Comfystone at comfystone.com and follow Comfystone on Instagram and TikTok. Until next time, this is Make Marketing Make Sense.